Great evening, great Thursday evening, everyone. This is Catherine Beasley with day 22, not in a row, of our Self Everything series. And we are talking selfish today. So, selfish, this meaning here, nope. Concerned excessively or exclusively with oneself, seeking or concentrating on one's own advantage, pleasure, or well being without regard for others. I say you can't get water from an empty well, so you need to take care of yourself. And sometimes that requires you to be selfish to put yourself first, right? Sometimes you got to stop looking out for everyone else, get selfish, and put yourself first, is the caption for this video. And it is such because it's true, right? So, first, that definition of selfish. Yes, it means that you're looking out for yourself. It does not always have to mean that you're looking out for yourself to the detriment of someone else or without regard for someone else. It just means that if it's a choice between you or me, I choose me. And it's okay for us to choose me. The issue is we feel like it's wrong for us to choose ourselves over someone else, especially if you are a people pleaser like I am. I'm a constantly recovering people pleaser. I learn something, I find something that might be helpful. I want to take everybody with me instead of seeing how it goes, or instead of just taking myself there. Because when you want to share with people and they don't get your vision, then you're holding yourself back because you're busy trying to drag people on, right? Excess weight weighs you down, and then you don't get to the steps and to the place in your life where you want to go. So, um, at least that's been my issue. Trying so hard to help others, bring others with me, that I hold myself back. So, getting selfish means that I stop that. Getting selfish means that I focus on getting myself somewhere first. I focus on my well being financially, emotionally, physically. In my relationships, I come first, right? In my dealings with friends, family, whatever, I come first. I have to. Like children, huh? Imagine that. Putting yourself before your kids. You have to, especially when they're grown. Because if you don't, you are giving yourself or putting yourself at a disadvantage. You are not giving yourself every opportunity to grow, to succeed, and to get to that next level. You are sometimes being a crutch for people and an enabler instead of allowing people to grow, allowing people to experience life, both the good and the bad aspects of it, right? The positives and negatives, the consequences and the repercussions of certain actions. So it's really important for you to not over be overbearing or be a helicopter mom, helicopter boss, helicopter, anything, right? You want to make sure you give people space, but you want to make sure that you're taking care of yourself first. So that's where selfishness comes into play. And everyone may not agree with it, but you have to look out for you first. You can't give water from an empty well, right? So no matter how much you want to be there for others, no matter how much you want to support them, help them along the way, if you are not feeding yourself, however you need to spiritually, right, feeding your soul, growing, then you have nothing to offer people, really. Um, and the moment that you break down is the moment that that support system that they really need won't be available to them either. So you're doing them a disservice when you don't take care of yourself in that regard. I listened to two trainings today that kind of touched on the same thing, hence this live too, because it was, for me, in my caption from a post earlier that I made about planting seeds, right? And that's it. That's your job, right? It says as a leader, and as a leader in any capacity, as the leader of a household, as a leader, co-leader in a relationship, as a leader at your job, in your business, in whatever capacity, right? In your community, you are seen as a leader when people look up to you. You may not even know that it's happening. People are watching what you're doing. They may not even give you any accolades for what they see you doing that's influencing them. You are leaders. Everyone is, right? As a leader, your job is simply to plant those seeds. That's it. You are not there to then try to drag people with you. When you have a goal, right? You pack your bag You can't put everything in that suitcase and bring it with you. Some things won't fit, some things are too big, some things just shouldn't be in there anyway, right? Because of the energy that it has or anything like that. So you have to be willing to plant a seed in people. Tell whatever your story is, give them the knowledge that you have, and then let it go, right? Don't get upset if they don't act on it immediately. Don't have expectations of them acting on it. You could wish for them to see it immediately and start to come with you sooner, right? But the truth is that people come in their own time. So what your job is as a leader throughout life in every capacity is to really share what you're learning. So you learn something and it's mentoring, right? You're learning something and you're sharing what you learn with people. And if you have an opportunity to, it's real mentoring where you're doing a one-on-one and actually having conversation with them and talking about it instead of them just kind of watching and seeing. And then you let it go, right? Release and let go and let God. And that's just it. And that's one of the hardest things to do, especially as a parent, right? You want to tell people, your kids, and save them from making the same mistakes that you've made, when in truth, they really do need to make those mistakes for themselves. As long as it's not something that's going to land them in jail or hurt or worse, right? And you need to be able to step back and let them have those life's experiences and have to deal with the repercussions of their actions and not hover and protect them from it, right? Um, so that they grow. And so planting that seed says you tell them everything that you're supposed to tell them, guide them as they should go. You tell them what it is. That seed gets planted, and sometimes that ground is fertile enough for it to take root immediately and grow, and they run with it. And other times it takes some time, right? Seed just lays there until that ground becomes fertile enough, and will accept that knowledge and act on it. Oftentimes, it's because you said it as the parent in this example with children. It's because you said it that they can't receive it immediately, at least, and then they have to think about it for a little while, or they hear it from someone else, and now it's valid. And then you have to let your ego go and just be happy that they got the lesson, whether it came from you or not, even though you told them about it yourself, right? So stuff like that, and that happens with friends, it happens with family, it happens with coworkers, whomever. People taking credit for your ideas, right? They didn't take it when you said it to them, but a week later, it's their idea, and now it sounds all good. So stuff happens, and you want to be okay with that because your job is simply to plant that seed and then let it go. You've done your duty, and now it's time for you to look out for you. So be selfish, right? You're sharing as much as you can, doing what you can to help others, but in the end, you want to look out for yourself first and foremost, because then that puts you in a greater position to be able to help people when you're ready to and as you're trying to. So, my friends, be selfish. Look out for you. Be sure that you're doing what you need, is self-care wise, to help yourself, to keep yourself moving forward. And that means learning constantly and teaching that information because it reinforces it for you too when you're teaching it to others and sharing it. It means that you're acting on that information too. Self-care means taking time for yourself. All of those things. Just be selfish. It's time because that's where your growth is coming from. That's where your success is going to come as well. So, my friends, let's have at it. Please do let me know what you think about that. How do you feel when you are looking out for yourself first? Does it make you feel bad? Does it make you feel like you shouldn't be doing that? Are you accepting of it because you understand this concept and it works for you, and it works downstream for the people that you're interacting with? Let me know. And as always, please do join the Facebook group. The description is listed in the comments here. It's a Self Everything group. And we're trying to build this community of people talking about themselves and talking about the self overall that is, and um, how to do anything related to self, how to think about these things and really push forward to be your best self. So I'd love to have you become a part of that community. Click the link in the description there, share with a friend, share with your timeline, and let everybody know to come on over and join us. And with that, I appreciate you hopping on, watching in real time, or um, as you see it later on. And we will chat again later. Bye bye.